Kia ora, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This we get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock with news. The world waits for a high tide and a full moon in Egypt. While dramatic, and the so far 6-day Suez Canal blockage will have a global impact, especially on shipping issues and costs, it is a crisis that will affect Europe the most and play heavily in their media. It will have a much lesser impact on us, and we shouldn't overplay it at this time. The Baltic Dry Index, which tracks rates for Capesize, Panamax and Supramax cargo ships, fell 22 points on Saturday, or 1%, its lowest since March 17. But it's still at an 18-month high in a run-up that started 5 months ago and essentially doubling since then. Pre-pandemic, it is an index that was at 400. Now it's at 2,178. But recall that just before the GFC, it reached its record high of 11,793. The pricing for these heavily capital-intensive vessels can get very extreme very quickly. It is a market where it is normally volatile. According to a new upgraded forecast by the World Bank, China's economy is expected to increase 8.1% this year after just growing 2.9% last year. And Chinese industrial profits surged in the first 2 months of 2021. Of course, a year ago they were battling their pandemic, so the comparison with 2020 isn't terribly relevant. But compared to 2019, this latest update is 31% higher, so it's actually quite impressive. South Korean consumer confidence is rising in March and faster than was expected. Especially encouraging for them was the indication consumer spending is about to rise even faster. This is the first time sentiment is a net positive there since before the onset of the pandemic. In the US, PCE inflation is essentially unchanged in February from January, but it is up 1.6% from a year ago, and that's a rising pace. The more current surveys of consumer sentiment are quite positive there too, with the latest University of Michigan survey up more than 10% in March from February, and now at its highest level in more than a year. But things are not so positive in the small business community in Australia. Business insolvencies are expected to spike in the wake of the JobKeeper end. Credit analyst Equifax say this could trigger a wave of 300 to 400,000 business failures across Australia, with the pain being felt overwhelmingly amongst small and medium-sized firms, and especially in Victoria. The US Treasury 10-year yield is up 1 basis point at 1.67%, and the price of gold starts today little changed at $1,733 an ounce. Oil prices have plateaued with a softish tone and are now just on $60.50 a barrel in the US, while the international price is just over $64 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar opens today at just under 70 US cents. Against the Australian dollar, we're holding at 91.6 Australian cents, and against the euro, we're also holding at 59.4 euro cents. That means the TWI will start today unchanged at 72.4. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.